Everybody, welcome back. So in between videos, I went ahead and created a new scene. I used a couple of the free assets I found within the Unity asset store to create this very quick little basic scene here with a couple of buildings, a couple of trees, little tower here, an ambulance in the grass, and a whole bunch of mountains off in the distance over there. All right. So first thing I want to discuss is reviewing navigation once more. So obviously we have the very obvious things. You know, we have the Alt and left mouse button to rotate the camera, right mouse button to zoom in and out, middle mouse button to pan. Wonderful. We all know how that works. We also know that if you select the camera, you get this little camera preview here. I can actually go ahead and change up where the camera is pointing at because it's not pointing at all towards anything in the scene. So there we go. That's a decent little area to start in front of the tower there. Why not? Cool. And of course, if you want to play the game, if you want to see what things look like when you actually run the game, you can just press play up here. Of course, as we discussed way back in the earliest videos, nothing's really going to happen because there's no interactivity. Thus far, everything we've discussed is the non-interactive portions of Unity, setting up scenes, making things look nice and whatnot. But now, for this video, I want to start talking a little bit about the interactive side of Unity, because obviously you can't have a game without it being interactive. You can't have an interactive experience without it being interactive. So that's what we're going to be covering in this video. To that end, the first thing I want to discuss is another method of navigation with Unity, another method of moving the camera around. Essentially, for a more game-like camera movement, you can just hold down the right mouse button, and then you can use the WASD keys on your keyboard to just move around the scene, like so. Holding W right now I'm holding A, rotating with my mouse, holding D right now, holding S, holding W. Now I'm holding W and A, rotating with my mouse. It's a very nice game-like way to navigate your scene. It's very useful, especially when you have giant scenes, because after a certain amount of time, the camera moves faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So make sure to keep that in mind. It starts off very slow, but then it speeds up very dramatically at an exponential rate. So be careful of that. All right. One of the easiest ways to make a scene interactive is to add some scripting to our camera. Right now our camera has a transform component, a camera component, and an audio listener component for audio stuff. It doesn't have any scripts attached to it. Attaching scripts to the camera is the easiest way to introduce some method of interactivity into your game, or attaching the camera to something that has movement is the best way to introduce some level of interactivity into your Unity project. So, to that end, let's actually go back into the Unity asset store. This is my simple Polycity that I got some of the buildings from. I am going to go ahead and start searching for a character controller, because we could spend the time and create our own scripting if we want, or we can do what many beginners do with Unity. Let's go to the free assets here. What many beginners do with Unity, which is just reverse engineer other free work and use it for their own purposes. It's a very, very efficient, fast way to start learning how to use Unity properly. What do I want to download here? Starter assets. They look pretty good. This one's kind of interesting. It's got a funny nose. Let's see what this one's all about. Let's see. It is file size only 459 kilobytes. That's good. Works with 2021 or higher. All right. Well, I'm using 2022, so that's good. Let's see. What does it come with? It doesn't really say what it comes with, but it's got decent reviews, so I guess we can try this one out. Version 3.0, 17 reviews, very high ratings. All right, well, yeah, let's try this out. Why not? Let's add this to my assets, accept. We can go ahead and instead of just going back in Unity, we can just say open in Unity. open Unity Editor, it just automatically opens up that package window that I showed you how to open before, which again is found in Window and Package Manager, and that takes you to where we are right now. So let's go ahead and download this character controller here, and let's import it in. Again, similar to the racetrack from the other video, I don't know what's necessary and what's not, so we're just going to take it all. And just give that a minute to load in. All right. So before we apply this to my own scene, you know, I don't know what this is really going to do. So let's just go ahead and go to my scenes. This is currently in my sample scene, but I want to save as... let's go to scenes here. Let's go to sample scene. I'm going to call this my interactive scene just for now. And there we go. So now I can swap back and forth between the interactive scene, the basic blank sample scene, and the game object scene, which is that scene from earlier videos where I just put some objects in. But let's see, the interactive scene, wonderful. Okay. Let's find the character controller that I just got, which I think is this Chevolo thing. I mean, there's a few ways we can go about getting used to this. We have this quick setup PDF we can open up real quick. I can just drag that in for you. There we go. Always be on the lookout with new assets in regards to documentation, because more often than not, creators that put stuff up in the asset store are going to give you give you some kind of a documentation to work with in order to properly use whatever asset they created for you. So always be on the lookout for documentation. In this case, I think we're just going to wing it a little bit, and we're just going to go to the demo, and we're going to go to the scenes because it included a demo level, I think. Yeah, there it is. Let's open this up. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, look at this, a nice little test room. You know, it's not all white boxes, but this is essentially a white box area, a nice test area where you can just explore to your heart's content and test out whatever features the game has. So let's see, we got some basic platforms and terrain and slopes here. Very interesting. Very nice. Very standard for what you would see in game development. So very good that this is here. All right. Let's go ahead and actually play the scene. I mean, no better way to get used to what this is all about than just to play the scene. So here we go. Let's play. Give that a second to load. Okay. I can control the camera with my mouse. Good so far. W, A, pressing S now, A now, W, D, good. This is pretty good. Can I actually jump, actually? Oh, I can, look at that. The space bar. Very nice, okay. So let's actually test this out. Let's see how this works. So let's go here, nice. Again, a lot of games early in development are going to create rooms like this with simple little characters like this just to test out that certain physics work, just to test out that certain controls work. To make sure the characters can go up certain slopes and not go up other certain slopes unless you want to, in which case you can change that in the inspector settings. Okay, looks pretty good so far. Got some bumps, good. Got this, very nice. Bump. Can we jump up here? We can. Oh, we can't jump, can't go up that, okay. And how does the character do on platforms? Good, it stays right on the platform. Rotates appropriately, very nice. Yeah, this is a pretty good character controller. We can use this in the scene that I created and explore the space that way. So yeah, we can definitely use this. Let's go ahead and press escape and press play, and then we're back out into the scene panel. Very good. All right, this is going to work, I think. I mean, no better way than just to test. So let's go back to my scenes. Let's go back to interactive scene. Let's go back to the character controller. What do we have here? Materials, models, scenes, scripts, textures, scripts. Well, after a little bit of digging, interesting enough, I couldn't actually find the character within the files. So what I'm going to do instead is reverse engineer the situation. And one of the best ways to do that is to take something that's complete, in this case, the Chivolo guy character here, and I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to make it a prefab. And now, I discussed before prefabs and the power of prefabs. Prefabs are assets that already have their setup work completed so that you don't have to do it again and again and again. It can reuse it in a number of scenarios. I'm going to do that with Chivolo guy, so I can use him in my own scene to walk around and make the actual scene that I created really quickly interactive. So I'm just going to take Chivolo here, and I'm going to just left click and just drag him down, and there you go. Now he's a prefab. I can use him anytime I want in any other place, including other scenes within the project. So to that end, let's actually open up the scenes folder. Let's go to interactive scenes, and don't save, and here we go. Next up, I want to set up the Chivolo character correctly, so I'm going to move my camera to a better place to start. I think right there is good. I'm going to zoom in here. Nice. I'm going to go back to my main assets directory. I'm going to place the Chivolo guy into the scene now. Right around here, I think. I'm going to select the camera again. I'm going to lock it in the inspector so I can have the camera preview here the entire good time. I got Chivolo guy here. And now we just got to place him into the scene. I'm going to put him a little bit high up because I have a feeling that our work is not yet done. So I'm going to place him a little bit high up. Wonderful. Okay, the scene is set. Let's actually try this out. I suspect it's not going to work, but you know, let's try it out and see how this goes. Let's play. And Chivolo just falls straight through. Okay, that's not good. I suspected it wasn't going to work. The reason for that is that if we select our terrain right here, the actual ground that Chivolo is supposed to be walking on, there's no collider here. Let's add in a collider. We can do that a couple of ways. We can go to Add Component here in the inspector, or we can go up to Component here and add it from the component menu. It's much more convenient to go through the Add Component feature here that the inspector has, so let's go ahead and click Add Component. Let's go to Physics. Let's go to Mesh Collider, very useful collider, especially for low poly objects, such as this terrain. So there we go, Mesh Collider. Now, hopefully, Chivolo won't just fall through the infinite void. Let's play, and perfect. Or not. I mean, he does walk on the ground now, but the camera is not following him anymore. That's not good. Okay, well, we can reverse engineer our own solution for this. Let's move the camera closer so we get a better view of Chivolo and a more appropriate view like that. And let's, well, ideally, let's just make the camera a child of Chivolo, because ideally that should work. And again, all I did was just go to the hierarchy, select the camera, drag it into the Chivolo, into my Chivolo asset here, so now it is a child of the Chivolo model. Ideally, what this means is the camera will follow behind Chivolo as he makes his way through my little world here. That's exactly what's happening. Oh, but that's not good. Pressing D or A rotates the camera very violently in a way that I don't really enjoy, in a way that doesn't really match up with the demo level at all. So let's actually get out of this, because that's not going to work. Let's put the camera back up here where it used to be. Alright, that's not going to work. Okay, you know what? Let's actually go ahead and save our scene, and let's go back to the demo level here, because that is going to be the best way to learn what's different between our stuff and the stuff that these individuals made for this free asset. So let's see, Chivolo guy should be exactly the same because I literally made a prefab of this, so all these settings here should be exactly the same, so I don't think it's Chivolo himself that's the issue. I think it's the camera. So let's go ahead and look at the camera here from the demo and see if there's any differences. We have the transform component, camera component's all pretty normal, audio listener. Here we go. Orbiting camera script. So this camera has a special script attached to it that allows it to properly and appropriately follow the Chivolo character. So that's what we're going to need on our own camera. So let's actually go back to our scene. Let's go to Assets, Scenes, Interactive Scene, which is mine. Let's go to our camera, and let's add the component. Let's actually find the script first. It's called Orbiting Cameras, and thankfully this Chevolo character controller was very organized and has scripts included. So let's see what we have here for these scripts. No, maybe it's under these scripts. There it is. Look at that. Orbiting Camera script. Wonderful. Again, one of the wonderful things about the Unity game engine and its asset store is the ability for new users like yourself to very easily and efficiently reverse engineer whatever assets you get. I, for example, am not a programmer by trade. I focus mainly on the art side of things. So having access freely to these kinds of to this kind of code and these kinds of assets is invaluable for someone like me who wants to design games but only really focuses on the art aspects of it. I don't have to know how to do code in order to create all this stuff. I could if I wanted to, but it would take a lot more work and a lot more time that I would much rather save focusing in on the things that I want to focus in on, i.e. the art or the world design or things like that. Things like that and things of that nature. So it's great that we have access to this stuff for free. I will say if you're going to be using this stuff, which you will all throughout the semester, you're going to be using free assets to create your worlds and your scenes and your games. Make sure to cite sources. Even if they're free, I want you to tell me where you got these assets from. It's just good practice to give credit to people, even if they aren't giving it away for free. Give proper credit to the creators, please. All right. Anyway, we have the script here. Let's go back to our camera. There's a couple of ways to add this script into the camera. We can go to Add Component. We can go to Scripts. We can track down the script from there. But the easiest way, with the camera selected and locked into our inspector, is literally just grab the Orbiting Camera script and just drag it in. And that's another way you can create components really, really easily in the inspector, just dragging in things like scripts. And we're done. So wonderful. We're ready to go. Let's play the scene. And oh no, we're not. Chevolo just fell straight down. Okay. What happened? Actually, you know what? These I think were different in the demo. So let's save one more time, and let's go back to the demo scene and take a look. Let's find the camera again. There it is. Yeah. The target is Chevolo Guy, is the Chevolo Guy model, and we have a vertical offset of 1.5. So let's go back to our scene now and apply those settings, and hopefully things will work as intended at this point. So let's see. For the transforms, we can select from our hierarchy here. The hierarchy being this exact same thing. Chevolo Guy. There we go. And the vertical offset, I believe, was 1.5. And that should be it. Now we should be able to control Chevolo properly in the scene. Yes, we can. Hooray! It's kind of slow. We can probably speed him up. And in fact, let's do so because it's a pretty big area that I created here. Chevolo Guy, can we actually speed you up? Move speed. Yeah, here we go. Let's go up to 20. I don't know. Yeah. Always be sure to play around with all the settings that are given to you, because you never know what they do. So be sure to, anytime you get a new setting, to just play around, have fun, try things out first before you try to apply them into your own scene. I didn't add a collider into the mountains, so let's go ahead and do that so Chevolo can go up the mountains. Let's add a component. Let's go to physics. Let's go to Mesh Collider, and I think that should be good. Let's go ahead, at least for that little mountain. Let's go, 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 jump. Yeah, there we go. Chevolo can scale the mountain, at least somewhat. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to end this particular video here. There is more to talk about, but we can do that in a separate video. This was just another example of bringing something in from the asset store and reverse engineering it for your needs. In this case, reverse engineering a very useful character controller so that you can make any scene that you create interactive in some way. I would recommend one of the first things you do with the asset store is find yourself a good third-person character controller like Chevolo Guy and a good first-person character controller as well. That way you can That way you can apply them very, very quickly to any and every environment that you create, and turn it from just a nice from just something that you can take nice pictures to, into something that you can make actually interactive. I hope this helps.